Today, we are tackling one of the biggest challenges in product management, maybe the biggest. How do you lead a team when technically you're not anyone's boss? This is the classic product manager paradox, right? You've got all this responsibility for making a product a hit, but zero formal authority over the engineers, the designers, the marketers, anyone building it.
So how do we solve this puzzle? Well, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the right mindset, what we call the empowerment mindset. Then we'll get into the actual tools you can use, your leadership levers. After that, we'll build out a super practical communication playbook. And finally, we'll see how a giant like Netflix puts all this stuff into action.
All right, first things first. The solution starts right here, with a huge shift in how you think. You've got to move away from the idea of being a boss, of having control, and lean all the way into empowerment. You see, an empowered team, they're not just a bunch of people checking off a to-do list you gave them. Not at all. They're a team of problem solvers. They get the why behind what they're doing, which means they can make smart decisions all on their own, without you having to look over their shoulder every 5 minutes. And this quote from Marty Kagan just nails it. It completely reframes your job. You're not the manager of a feature factory. No, you are the champion of a customer problem that needs to be solved. Big difference. And this is what happens when you get it right. When your engineers and designers really truly get the customer's problem, well, micromanagement just becomes a waste of time. Trust me, they will come up with far better solutions than you ever could by yourself.
Okay, so empowerment is the goal. That sounds great, but how do you actually do it? What are the practical day-to-day things you can use? Well, that brings us to your leadership levers. Think of it like this. You've got 3 main levers you can pull. It's not about giving orders. It's about 1. Painting a compelling vision. 2. Grounding every single decision in solid data. And 3. Having real empathy, not just for your customers, but for your teammates too. So here's the absolute key. Your authority is earned, not given to you by an org chart. You do that by managing the context for your team, the goals, the customer insights, the data. You don't manage the people. When you nail that, people will want to follow your lead.
Of course, it's not just about your amazing engineers and designers. To get anything done, you have to manage this huge, complex web of stakeholders. Executives, sales, marketing, customer support, even legal. The list feels endless sometimes.
And here, it's a stakeholder map. By figuring out who has high influence or high interest, you can get really strategic with your communication. It stops you from just blasting everyone with information and helps you talk to the right people with the right message at the right time.
Communication is the engine that powers everything else. It is your most critical skill.
Just look at this number for a second. 70%. That's how much of your life as a product manager can be spent just communicating. You're translating customer needs, you're aligning teams, you're sharing context. You absolutely have to get this right.
So, let's build out your playbook.
First up, the pyramid principle. This is your go-to framework for talking to busy execs. You start with the conclusion, the bottom line, right up front. Then you give them the supporting data. It respects their time and makes sure your main point lands, even if you only have their attention for 30 seconds. Next, radical candor. This one is all about giving effective feedback. The idea is so simple but so powerful. When you show people you genuinely care about them as a person, you earn the right to challenge them directly and honestly. This is how you build real trust and avoid all that polite but useless avoidance. And for those really high-stakes moments when something's gone wrong and you need to update leadership, the SBAR framework is your best friend. It gives you this clear, calm structure. What's the situation? What's the background? What's your assessment? And what's your recommendation? So here's the thing with all these frameworks. They're about encouraging open and honest conversation. Look, when you get a bunch of smart, passionate people in a room, you're gonna have disagreements. That's a good thing. Your job isn't to prevent conflict, it's to make it productive. Okay, so we've talked theory, we've talked tools, but what does this look like in the real world? When a company totally and completely nails it at a massive scale. Let's talk about Netflix. Their famous culture of freedom and responsibility is pretty much the perfect case study for leading through empowerment. And at Netflix, this isn't just some poster on a wall. They live this stuff. Leaders see their main job as providing context, the company's strategy, the latest data, the competitive landscape. Then they trust their teams to figure out the best way forward. As a PM there, your job isn't to be a gatekeeper, it's to be a fire hose of context so your team can make brilliant decisions.
And that's the payoff, right there. When you lead through empowerment, you get a team that can move fast, a team that takes ownership, and a team that innovates in ways that a top-down command and control system just can't compete with.
All right, let's bring it all home. What are the big things to remember? Number 1, empowered teams will always outperform controlled teams. 2, you lead with context, clarity, and the credibility you earn. 3, communication is not a soft skill, it is your superpower. And finally, your job isn't to command, it's to empower.
Okay, so now the real work starts. You've got the playbook, take these tools, take this mindset, and go apply it. The next time you talk to your team, don't ask them what feature to build. Ask them, what problem are you most excited to solve? I promise you are going to be blown away by what they come up with.